Dear Pops, it has taken me some time to think about what our relationship was. Did we ever truly have that father and daughter bond? Growing up, like any child, I always wanted to have a father to be in my life. You know, the kind that teaches you how to drive around in circles in a wide empty space parking lot, or teaches you the basics of changing a flat tire, or how to pick a nice boy and not some jerk, or someone who is the first to make you smile in the room with one of their cliche jokes that states that you're pretty or you're different than any other girl. Though, in my early childhood, there were fond memories that we do cherish together. At one point, I would even argue to anyone that you were my hero, a true daddy's girl. I remember how you were the one who got me to swim on my own. When you used to throw me in the room temperature pool on a hot summer's day in California just to teach me how to swim. I remember thinking that you were insane, but I remember you telling me don't drown, but if you do, I'll be here to save you. You believed in me. And I finally learned. Life was good to us when I was 5, or so I thought it was. As time moves forward, things started to go on a darker road. More difficult to understand our father and daughter relationship. When I turned 10, that was when I first recognized that you were slowly withering away. And it was then when I realized that those needles I saw in your middle car department when I was just about 6 or 7 years old weren't for medicine, but were the tools you needed to get high off heroin. Pieces started to slowly come together the more I got older. Life wasn't as easy or great as so it seemed. Even though you finally managed to get off the drugs, eventually it was too late because they have already taken your consciousness away. And your soul went into a mad world where your mind feels like it's in multiple dimensions. Your drinking got more out of control, and even though you were able to finally escape the poisons, you still never could give up the taste of what that sweet bourbon of alcohol tasted like. As you would drink it first thing in the morning, like a cup of coffee, and drink it all day like it was water. You no longer became a normal father when the doctor finally said you could die if you permanently stop drinking now, at your age. As the many times you have tried to quit, you would go into shock and end up seizing or vomiting up your own blood in the bathroom sink. I knew by age 10 I was never going to have a normal father. As the many nights I would spend feeling the tears run down my cheeks, holding myself underneath a blanket, and wonder why you haven't called your own daughter in months. The thought of you possibly being dead somewhere, in bushes, high on whatever dish you chose to feed your veins with that night. But come to find out, I finally do get that call, and you endlessly apologize, and that you were in rehab, and they allow no contact to the outside. I could remember a huge anchor lifted off my chest that was holding me down at the bottom of the sea. As I said before, it took me quite some time to understand you and me. It was always so difficult to watch you sick in my years of middle school. that I even tried to convince myself that hating you would be easier than to love you and watch them bury you in your casket with a beer bottle stuck to your side. At least that's how I would imagine. I know how much you loved the taste of beer. I never understood why, but you would tell me you couldn't give it up, and not even for me. It was a battle I had lost before I was even born. In high school, I finally decided to move past the hate because I was beginning to slowly add more pieces of the puzzle together. I knew that loving you wasn't going to be easy, and I thought it was better than living with regret, as you trying to be in my life was more than enough from a father. As you would spend many nights sleeping in your tent outside of my house just to be near me so that you knew I was safe and sound in my bed. I have always known our time could be short, as the drugs and alcohol take you forward into time with your age and your looks. As you begin to age a decade faster every year on your birthday, as 40 turns you into 60. Like as if time had somehow jumped and we were in a time machine, but I had only wished that it was all a dream.